Here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston, to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I'm Brian Beatty. I always like to take a little bit of time and just say thank you to those of you that listen to the show and rely on the information within it to help you better understand the housing market, trends, processes. I really do enjoy kind of peeling back the curtain on what's happening in the real estate market and industry. What are the conversations that we as real estate agents are having behind closed doors, quote unquote, about the market? What do we really think's happening out there? How can I inform you about these trends so that you make reasonable, informed decisions and have reasonable expectations about the process? That's what this show is all about, arming you with that knowledge and education so that when it comes time for you to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you win. You get it. You know more than the other guy. And so I want to continue this show here on what I think is going to happen in 2020 for real estate, for housing. And one of the trends that has been, in my opinion, one of the least talked about and one of the most notable over the past few years is the increase in technology in real estate. The amount of data that is collected about you as a consumer, if you really knew, would kind of freak you out. I mean, it really would. When I sit down and I talk with folks about how we are using big data to market their listing to potential buyers, and I help them understand how we're even finding these people and what we're doing to engage with them, some people are like, "Wow, that is very Big Brother. That is." I did not realize just how deep that went. And so one of the things that continues to emerge here, and I invite people to call on this topic alone because there's so many interesting ways and avenues and paths that this conversation can take. But the number here in the studio is 843-556-1250, 843-556-1250. You have any questions or anything that you'd like to mention? But when it comes to real estate technology trends, big data is one of the most popular technologies, right? It is a huge, just so you know, big data. It's just this huge quantity of data that's evaluated to provide predictive analytics about consumer purchase intent and behavior based on past trends or patterns or associations with certain things. So these are the tech companies like Netflix and Uber and Facebook and Amazon that know everything about us, right? So when it comes to real estate, we have tools called CRM. So it's a client relationship management software system where, anybody that calls me or any past client that I've had or any interaction with any one of my customers or clients goes in this database. My database is my business. I take care of it. I communicate with people. This is where all of our leads go from all the different websites and different avenues we have and where we're marketing properties and ourselves. And some of the ways in which we capture this data gives us an incredible amount of information about a potential client. So like as an example, let me just kind of throw this out there. Let's say that somebody is online and they're looking at one of my listings and they click on it and they request more information. They fill out that form online, whatever website they're on, it doesn't matter because it all comes to the same place. It all goes to this one big software system. The software system is so advanced, and we have it set up in such an advanced way that when they inquire, I see their name, their phone number, their email address. There's an automated search that is done that pulls up all social media information. I get to see your profile picture on Facebook. I know how old you are, what your interests are, what you do for work. People feel very weird about that at times. But think about it just for a second, because I know some people are like, well, I'm never contacting Brian, that's for sure. Just call or text me, and you'll avoid all that stuff, because really what's needed is the email address to pull that data. And my cell phone number, just in case, is 400-8009, okay? But think about this. If you're selling your house and you've hired me to sell your house, you want me to be the best at sales that I can be, right? So if somebody's inquiring about your house and I have access to this data and I know that I'm talking to an engineer about your house, that conversation is going to go a lot differently than if I know I'm talking to an artist about your house. I'm going to explain things in a very rigid, fact-based way to the engineer, and to the artist, of course, it's going to be all emotion-based. It's how this home makes them feel, and how great and exciting that would be. Hitting on the emotional side of the purchase. And so that is just a very small example of how we're using big data to have more meaningful conversations with potential clients, because from your perspective as a seller, you want every conversation to be handled professionally and in such a way that that conversation might result in the buyer that buys your house. But if you're hiring an agent that is just that set it and forget it, put your home on a conveyor belt approach and, let the MLS do its thing, let the agent stumble across the listing and bring you a buyer, there's so much that you're missing in the world of marketing, in the world of representation driven by tech, which I think we are at this point very well known for in this market. Then you're missing a lot, because, and I say this all the time to my sellers, every at-bat counts. We want to use everything at our disposal to convert that particular online shopper into a buyer for your house. And that means asking good questions. It means having access to data and ways of communicating with them and ways of re-engaging with them, because the reality is the average amount of time between the time somebody first starts looking at a home online and the time they ultimately purchase something is 13 months. That's a long period of time. And we all know that real estate agents already suck at communication. So they talk to them once, they realize they're a year away, they say, okay, great. They might plan on following up with them, but they don't. Which is why, the agents out there that are really good at their jobs are the ones that have databases that have been followed up with, that have essentially taken these people from the initial point of curiosity all the way to the point now where, hey, we've been communicating. We know what you're looking for. We know the areas you're interested in. We know what you don't want. And as it gets closer and closer to the time for you to buy or sell a home, we're educated. We know what you want. We've filled in the gaps in terms of what you don't know and what you didn't know, so that as this process unfolds, it becomes very, very easy. That's really the goal. And sometimes that takes some time. It takes some rapport. It takes trust with your real estate agent. And you can't expect trust out of somebody as a real estate agent, nor can you as the client wholeheartedly trust somebody unless they're proven, unless they're accountable, unless they're operating with integrity and passion and professionalism. And that's a really hard thing in this industry right now. So big data is helping a lot of people, but it's also a crutch, in my opinion, because real estate agents are always looking for a way to make their lives easier. And sometimes it comes at the cost of customer service. So for us, we want to always be known as the customer service choice in Charleston, driven by technology for your benefit. And so when I look at some of these sites and some of the things that are happening, like all this different automation and real estate robots and AI that are now communicating with you, do you realize that the majority of websites you go on and you start communicating or texting with somebody, even if it's not on the website, you've got chat bots on websites now. Of course, you would think that that's a person. In most instances, it's not. They've created all these algorithms to have conversations with you about all different kinds of things. And once they've kind of run out of options, or you say something like, well, sorry, I can't talk right now, my house is on fire. They probably don't have a preset algorithm or answer for my house is on fire, in which case you're going to see a delay and those little bubbles flash, and then somebody will be like, oh, got to jump in here and actually communicate with this person now. It's all done by AI. It's all robots. We have very similar things in predictive analytics and behavioral emails and text messages that get sent to people to try and engage them, because as they're looking at properties, as these folks, come back to the site, we get little notifications. And it's not just us. This is a lot of different websites out there. But they'll say, hey, John Doe has been to your site 3 days in a row, still looking at real estate. You should give him a call. If we don't, then the system is going to say, all right, I'm going to text this guy for you. Hey, John, noticed you've been looking at some properties. Here are a few other options you might not have seen. When can we get together to talk about this over the phone? Those are some of the things that these systems are doing for real estate agents without the agent lifting a finger. So you would think that with all this support and all of these things that are being done for real estate agents, that they could answer the phone when you call them or call you back within a reasonable amount of time, or spend the effort to just call and communicate with you. But in all the years that I've been doing this, that is the most challenging thing that people deal with when working with a real estate agent. They just don't hear from them. I don't get it. I don't understand why. I mean, I do understand why, but they're sealing their fate when they decide to be the agent that, well, yeah, when you call me, I'll get back to you at some point within reason, I suppose, maybe, if it's a Tuesday or Wednesday. But Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I'm pretty tough to reach. So don't call me then, because I got a lot going on. It's amazing how the lapse in representation has afforded, frankly, agents like me an incredible opportunity over the past 14 years to be the person that says, hey, when you hire me, I will communicate with you at least once per week from the time we list until the time we sell. And if I don't, you can fire me. It's in writing. It's in our listing agreement. And we take it seriously because, first and foremost, you just want to know what in the world's going on with your house. What have we done? What did we do last week? Why aren't we getting any showings? Or, hey, we're getting all these showings. Why aren't we getting any offers? What are these people actually thinking about our house when they walk through it? Because I'm getting the automated feedback and they're saying, didn't like the house, didn't like the floor plan. This person said that, hey, the experience was great, but they just chose not to make an offer. As a seller, if I'm selling my house, I'm going to ask the question of why? And all these automated feedback reports and all these different systems and things that have been put in place to support a real estate agent to save them time and to make it more convenient for the seller are actually a hindrance in some instances because agents are not communicating with their clients about the properties that they have for sale that are being shown by buyers. They're not really getting the true sense of the feedback. And because of technology, agents that represent properties are no longer communicating with the agent showing the property before the showing occurs. It's a big problem, in my opinion. It's a great opportunity because we do certain things that help our sellers understand that, hey, if a showing is going to take place on your home, we're going to ensure that that buyer is ready, willing, and able. We're going to ask if they walk through the house and they like what they see, if they're in a position to make an offer. We're going to go ahead and cancel those showings from those people that say, yeah, these folks are visiting their kids and they're up from Florida and they're thinking of retiring in Charleston in a few years and, they'd have to sell their home before they could buy anything. So, I mean, these buyers are years away from making a purchase decision, but they want to come and kick you out of your house for an hour to take a look at it. Do you really want to spend time cleaning your home and, get the family and dog in the car and drive around for an hour and then come back on a Saturday? No one does. But because agents aren't being communicative, because real estate has been flooded with automation and tech over the past several years, it's having an even greater impact on just the lack of customer service that I think we're giving our clients, which is something we've recognized and we do something about. So if you'd like to have a conversation with us about what we're doing differently and what it would look like to work with our team and how we've used technology to our advantage, feel free to give me a call. My number is 843-400-8009. That's my cell, 843-400-8009. Or go to our website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. One more break, and we'll have a little bit more to chat about as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
More stimulating talk on real estate matters with Brian Beatty next on 1250 WTMA.